everybody, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we'll bring you a card close-up of Xayah Embers of a Forsaken Star, which is the expansion for Xayah Legends of Adrift system. We're going to show you the ships and their powers. We're going to show you all the events that are currently in the prototype, and we're going to show you the various sector tiles as well that are going to be coming in the expansion. And keep in mind that, like I said, this is prototype material, so obviously the materials themselves are going to be vastly improved when the game comes out. But on top of that, anything you see here, the rules, the wording, any of that stuff is subject to change. So I believe the general ideas are pretty much finalized as far as what you're going to see here. But the nuances and some of the balancing issues, any of that stuff could still be tweaked and likely will still be tweaked between now and the final release of the game. So without anything else, let's get right into it. So here's the Tier 1 ship Vagabond. You can see it has 11 places in its hold and 8 energy. And its ability Batea Grid. You can collect cargo cubes from areas on the map that normally didn't contain resources. As a minor action, when inside the borders of any asteroid, ice asteroid, nebula, or debris field, spend 1 energy and roll a d20, and then you get these various things depending on what you roll. If you do not have space to hold the cargo cubes, they are immediately jettisoned. Cost of 1 energy. Then we've got the Skimmer. It has 13 spots in its hold, 10 energy, has the recall ability. Place recall token on this card while in normal space, not inside any border. As a minor action, place recall token in the same space you were in. This does not use this ability. As an action, spend 2 energy and roll a d20. The ability is now used by doing this. So in other words, you're not going to flip the card over here, you'll flip it over for doing this part down here. Nothing happens on a 1 through 5, but on a 6 through 20, place your ship in the same space as your recall token. Then place the recall token back on this card. So basically it gives you like an anchor to teleport back to whenever you want to. During your status phase, place the recall token on this card. And it's got an energy cost of 2. And finally, we have the Carriac with 14 energy and 15 places in the hold and an impulse of 2. Sorry. Yeah, and this has an impulse of 3 and impulse of 3 as well for the Vagabond. All right, so here we've got the Absorption Shield. As an action, spend 4 energy to heal 1 damage. The ability remains face up and unused if you do this part right here. And then down here, use when activating a shield outfit before spending armor markers. Roll a d20. The ability is now used. 1 through 4, nothing happens. 5 through 11, for every 2 damage prevented, gain 1 energy. 12 through 19, for every 1 damage prevented, gain 1 energy. And 20, for every 1 damage prevented, gain 2 energy. All right, let's take a look at the event cards. Right here, we've got Grav Shift. At the start of each round, roll a d20 twice. Take the sector that has spawn point number closest to the first roll and switch it with the sector that has spawn point number closest to the second roll. Anything on the tiles, move along with them and the tiles stay oriented in their original directions. If a 20 is rolled, the Grav Shift dissipates. So this card leaves play when the Grav Shift dissipates. Artillery. While this card is in play, at the end of each round, all outlaw ships near Kemplar 2 are attacked with unblockable damage. Attack depends on the distance from Kemplar. If you're in the Kemplar 2 sector, roll a d12. In a sector adjacent to Kemplar 2, a d8. And in a sector 2 sectors away, d6. And this card leaves play when a ship is destroyed by the planet Kemplar. Economic Crash. While this card is in play, all cubes on the economy board are removed. This card leaves play when after removing all cubes from the economy board. So it is an immediate removal for that card. It doesn't stay in play for any length of time. Energy Storms. While this card is in play, all nebula borders now have the following rolls. 1 through 5, stranded. Lose all energy and all armed markers are disarmed. 6 through 10, lose that much energy. 11 through 20, nothing happens. Place 1 damage on this card at the end of each round. 3 damage markers will have this card leave play. Variable Star. While this card is in play, if Zaya has been discovered, roll a d20 at the end of each round. On a 1 through 3, solar flare. On a 4 through 20, nothing happens. If a solar flare occurs, any ships, cubes, NPCs, exploration tokens in a sector tile adjacent to Zaya is destroyed. This card leaves play when the solar flare has been resolved. Martial Law. While this card is in play, if the Enforcer is not being used in the game, draw a new event. The Enforcer now takes 2 turns in a row instead of 1, moves an additional 8 spaces, rolls 1 additional die when attacking, and this card leaves play when the Enforcer is destroyed. Retethered. While this card is in play, Tiger's Gate is now connected to the other gates, and players may move freely between all of them. The special rules for Tiger's Gate are ignored. First player to use the now functioning Tiger's Gate earns 1 fame point. This card leaves play when this card does not leave play. And if the Traveler Tile card is active and unclaimed, then discard this card and draw a new event card. Fesco Grand Prix. While this card is in play, players race to visit as many unique mission points in 1 turn as possible. When the race ends, players will be rewarded by who has visited the most unique mission points in 1 turn. First place gets 3 fame points, second place 2 fame points, third place 1 fame point. Ties, players share the reward. Place a damage on this card after each round. Race ends after 2 rounds. This card leaves play when race ends and all players receive their reward. Cinderbeard. Take a random available tier 3 ship, one that hasn't been purchased. This ship cannot be purchased by players and is now the outlaw NPC Cinderbeard. Spawn by rolling a d20. Cinderbeard has the same NPC pattern as the Scoundrel, except attacks with 2d12, has no shields, takes 15 damage to destroy, moves 12 spaces, flees 10 spaces, and plus 3 fame points when destroyed by a player. This card leaves play when Cinderbeard is destroyed. Also, if Derelict Hulk event has already been drawn, discard this card and draw a new event card. Trade Embargo. While this card is in play, Azure is under a trade embargo. Buying or selling on the planet is illegal, and taking either action will earn you a bounty of 1,000 credits. Buying Holo on Azure is now 1,000 credits for 4 cubes. Selling Terra on Azure is now 2,000 credits per cube. Every time someone buys or sells on Azure, place a damage on this card. This card leaves play when there are 3 damage on this card. Power Crisis. All planetary shields are deactivated. All planetary shield rolls are ignored. Add 1 damage marker to this card every round. This card leaves play when there are 3 damage markers on this card, or when Lockdown event card is drawn. Derelict Hulk. While this card is in play, take a random unpurchased available tier 3 ship and spawn it. This ship cannot be purchased normally and is now the Hulk. Tow. When adjacent to Hulk, take a move action. Hulk moves along with your ship for this action, but moving costs +1 movement per space. If you tow Hulk into the space station, immediately end your action phase and purchase it for free, regardless of your current ship. This card leaves play when the Derelict Hulk has been claimed. Also, if Cinderbeard event has already been drawn, discard this card and draw a new event card. Humanitarian Aid. While this card is in play, one of each of the following may be delivered to the mission point in Outpost 338. The first player that delivers the needed item places it on this card and receives a fame point. Item 1, 2,000 credits, gain 1 fame point. Item 2, any shield outfit, gain 1 fame point. Item 3, 1 Terra Cube, gain 1 fame point. This card leaves play when all the items have been placed on this card. Loyalty. While this card is in play, the planet Neo Damascus is now considered to be a lawful planet. This card leaves play when card does not leave play. Motherlode. While this card is in play, the mining space in Red Gulch now has the following rules. The new results are 1 through 10, take double the damage rolled. 11 through 17, gain 1,000 credits, don't gain cubes. 18 through 20, gain 5,000 credits, and the load collapses, don't gain cubes. This card leaves play when the load collapses. Wormholes. While this card is in play, all spawn points are now connected to each other and provide special movement like gates. Whenever someone uses the spawn points for special movement, roll d20. On a 1, the wormhole collapses. The ship using the wormhole is destroyed. This card remains in play until the wormhole collapses. Lockdown. While this card is in play, the planet Lunari has gone into lockdown. The planetary entrance is now considered to be part of the planetary shield for ships entering the planet. Entering the planet is now impossible without flying through the planetary shield. You may still exit through the entrance as normal. Place a damage marker on this card at the end of each round. This card leaves play when 3 damage markers are placed on this card or when Power Crisis event card is drawn. And Magna Wave. While this card is in play, roll d6 once for each player's ship in play. That ship must set their energy to the rolled value. This card leaves play after all energy rolls have been resolved. And now for the solo game mission cards. We have Lightning Victory, playing to 5 fame points. Special rules: win on your first turn. Reward: during setup, after drawing the starting sector tiles, you may search through the other sectors and select an additional sector to be included during setup. Another 5-point game, Merchant Master. Earn at least 4 fame points from selling goods and or buying fame points this game. Reward: during setup, each cube type on the economy board starts with 6 cubes instead. Meteor Shower, a 10 fame point game. Special rules: at the start of each turn, take d6 damage, preventable with shields. Reward: once per game when taking damage, you may prevent all that damage without using a shield, even if that damage would otherwise be unpreventable. This reward doesn't negate ship destruction effects like flying into the sun. Suicidal, 10 fame points is how many points you'll play in the game. Special rules: your ship must be destroyed at least 4 times this game. Reward: once per game when your ship would be destroyed, it is not destroyed instead. Place it on a random spawn point and heal all damage. If it was your turn, you lose any excess movement from the current action, and then your turn continues. Another 10 fame point game called Archaeological Expert. Special rules: earn at least 5 fame points from sifting excavation tokens during this game. Reward: once per game as an action, you may move your ship into the space station. I assume what this means is from anywhere on the board, so I'll be interested to see exactly how this one plays out. A 15 fame point game, Fierce Fighter. Special rules: destroy each of the NPCs at least once. Scoundrel, Merchant, Enforcer. Reward: once per game when you destroy an NPC ship, earn an extra fame point or double the amount. Expert Explorer, 15 fame points. Special rules: earn at least 7 fame points from exploration tokens and or gates this game. Reward: once per game you may reveal all exploration tokens currently on the map. Leave them face up. You must still collect them normally, and new tokens are placed face down as usual. Mission Master, 15 fame point game. Special rules: earn at least 7 fame points from missions this game. Reward: once per game when taking the draw mission action, you may search through the mission deck and pick the mission you want instead of drawing cards. Convincing Victory, 20 fame point game. Special rules: the NPC player starts the game with 10 fame points. Draw extra titles and event cards during setup as needed. Reward: once per game when taking the scan action, you may choose the sector that appears. Shuffle all remaining sectors afterward. And finally, Titled Master, 20 fame point game. Earn at least 5 fame points from titles this game. Reward: before drawing the title during setup, look at the top 3 cards of the title's deck. You may put them on the top or bottom of the deck in any order you choose. All right, here we've got Near, which is the star, the dying star of the new system that Zaya has kind of combined with. And basically a space station is going to be right here. And every time somebody docks with it, you roll a d6 and it moves along this orbiting path right here. That's the only thing of note inside of this particular sector. And of course, if you were to jump into or go through that for any reason, which I don't know why you do that, you'll die inside the star. Here we've got the Chasm. All right, so The way these gravity paths work is when you're coming through, and once you land on the gravity path, you roll a d6, and then you move that many sectors, or I'm sorry, that many spaces along the gravity path. If you ever move off the gravity path from the d6 roll, then you just stop right there. You don't keep going. But let's say I came here and rolled a 1, I would just move one space, at which point I can move along the path freely. However, if I were to go off the path and come back on it, I would again have to roll a d6 and move. So basically to get into K, which I believe is how you pronounce this, which is an outlaw planet, it also allows, K also has this trade ability where you can change your cubes into any other cube. It has a mission point and an exploration point there as well. But to get in there, if I landed here, I might have to move, 3 or 4 spaces and then travel back along this to get to this spot here, travel here and then jump over here like that. Then I could go in. So it's just going to make it a little more difficult. And of course, on this side, you have a gravity path as well. Here we've got Farron's Call. Got a mission point, 2 exploration points. And now something interesting, obviously, on this gravity path, you're going to roll a d12 and move along it. This one, you roll a 6. Now, what's interesting about that is you've got this sector, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sectors there, which means if you start anywhere other than this very first spot, you have a possibility of going into this black hole. If you enter this area, your ship explodes, or I guess implodes, technically gets crushed, whatever. So getting this exploration token is going to be very difficult, and this one right here is pretty difficult as well. So that's a pretty cool sector right there. Here you've got Neo Vostok, an ice asteroid. You got right here is the exploration point. You've got a mission point. This obviously has this right here has a comet, and what happens with that is when you enter this gravity field here, the comet is going to move the d6 distance as opposed to your ship. So your ship actually is not going to do that. This is the comet's path, not a gravity path that's going to force your ship along. Also in here, depending on what you roll, you have a shot at taking ice damage, which ice damage starts spreading on your ship until you land on a planet, at which point it thaws out. So there's that. Here we've got Calicus. It's a dead world exploration spot. You've got a mission point here. You can excavate. Now, the way excavation works is when this planet comes out, one of these will be placed on the planet. Go to this excavate spot. Obviously, 1 through 10, you're going to get ice damage. 11 through 20, you take this. Now, when you take it, you actually aren't able to claim it until you get to the space station. And when you get to the space station, you sift it. And depending on what's on the back here, you'll always have the ability to get a fame point. But then the other possibility is something like this, where you get 2,000 credits and a, what does that say? That's an Enviro Shield right there, which helps you mine more safely. And so any sort of environmental damage you would take, it would kind of mitigate that. So you get the fame point, or you can get those other things. Another example of how that would work is right here with a fame point or 2,000 credits and 2 plasma. So that's kind of what you can expect from those. And actually, you can see right here, there's going to be 3 of those on this planet. So it's not just a one shot. In this case, you'd be able to excavate 3 times in order to get that. The grinder right here is another ice asteroid. Then the quarry you can mine, and 1 through 10 you get the ice damage. 11 through 20 you get this new type of cargo cube called Ember. And then we've got a mission point, exploration, and obviously you got the comet going around here. Here is Blench, another ice asteroid. You can get in the quarry, you can get Ember there. You got a comet going around, exploration point and mission point. The ruins of Drelmoth, another dead world. This actually is going to have 4 excavation possibilities. And then you've got the exploration and the mission point. Here we've got the Brink, which is an anomaly. So this gravity field right here, when you enter here, you roll a d6 going around. If you go inside of this, now that's interesting. I'm not sure how this is going to work because it has an exploration point right there. Must be something I'm missing there as far as how you could get that. I can't think of how you can, because this red border indicates an area generally that where you would die by passing it. So I'll have to kind of look into that and see what I'm missing as far as that goes. You do have Tig down here, which has a mission point. It looks like kind of a dwarf planet, like Pluto or something, I guess. Which, yes, Pluto's not a planet, I know. Then we've got the Samara Gate, which the way this works is it connects to the Delta Gate and the Expeditor Gate. So now you actually have a 3-gate system as opposed to just a 2-gate system. First player to use any of the gates obviously earns fame points. Got a mission point here as well. Here you have a Tafjur, which is a dead world, has 2 excavation possibilities, mission point and exploration point. All right, so real quick, I just want to show you this as well. The Kiln is the name of the space station that orbits near that dying star I showed you at the beginning of the sector tiles there. And basically, when someone would dock with Near, they would actually put their ship onto this card. And you can see there's a mission point there. And then right here, this is the only place on the board where you'll be able to sell Ember. And you can see you get 2,000 credits for each cargo cube because Ember generally is a little more difficult to get a hold of. This is also where you can sift those things so you can claim whatever they have available underneath them. And yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the space station goes. Also the fact that it's so small and is going to be a hub that people are going to need to get to for, in a lot of cases, could increase the conflict between certain players. And there you have it. There's our card close-up of Xayah Embers of a Forsaken Star. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. You can find me on Twitter @boredoffline. And until next time, if you're bored online, board offline.